Good day, and welcome to the LillyRoddy Show here at the LRS Studios in Houston, Texas. So glad to have you with me this week for my forecast for February 16th through the 22nd. As you may have noticed last week, we did have a technical glitch. No sound for the video. However, Ima and Noda Geek, the Geek sisters, did come in and fix the problem. Noda was the one who originally messed things up, and Ima fixed it. This week, February 16th through the 22nd, is dominated by the Mercury-Saturn square on the early morning of the 19th. This should be strong the 18th through the 20th. We need to be careful not to be too overly critical of ourselves or others during this time. The Sun enters Pisces on the 18th at noon Central Time. And we only have one really long void of course moon on the 17th for this week. Let's look at the daily forecast. Sunday, February the 16th, the moon continues in adaptable Virgo. Our first aspect of the morning, Mercury trine Mars at 2:19 a.m. This planetary combination offers us a chance to be clever and quick with our solutions all day. This can also make our brain and our nervous system run a bit faster than usual. But overall, a great day for mental activity. This aspect is in effect all day. The moon trines Pluto at 2:40 a.m. If you're awake, this is a time of deep emotional understanding. If you're asleep, this aspect will stimulate your brain to release old baggage. Later in the afternoon, the moon trines Venus at 1:08 p.m. Now this is a great aspect to have and to be spending the afternoon with close friends or just enjoying each other's company. In the evening, the moon sextiles Saturn at 11:04 p.m. Now this is a good time to get some organizing, cleaning out those closets, or just getting prepared for your next day. We will want to be useful with our time. The moon is now void of course 11:04 p.m. until Monday at 12:23 p.m. Monday, February 17th, the moon continues in Virgo through the first half of the day. The moon is void of course through the morning until 12:23 p.m. And that's when the moon enters strategic Libra. Plan your meetings and activities after 12:23 p.m. so things will work more effectively. Although the moon is not void of course, she does not make any aspects with the other planets until Tuesday morning. Try to enjoy the relaxed pace of the day and try not to put too much pressure on yourself to get things done. Tuesday, February the 18th, the moon continues in socially active Libra. The moon opposes Uranus at 8 a.m. this morning. This is a good morning to be up early and getting your act on the road. This can make us feel a bit hyper and our emotions are right on the surface. Make sure that you have an escape plan handy. The moon squares Jupiter 9:18 a.m. We are very busy this morning and we may have a hard time sticking to our planned schedule. Nevertheless, we are feeling very optimistic about the outcome of the day. The Sun enters the sign of Pisces at noon Central Time for approximately the next 30 days. We will all be more emotionally sensitive and psychically aware. The sign Pisces represents the time to retreat and contemplate our connections to the universe. Make sure that you schedule some time to get away from all of the noise. The moon squares Pluto at 1:04 p.m. Now this is a good time to be cleaning out any old relationship issues. We're getting to the heart of the matter. In business, this can be a great time to clear up any communication problems with clients or suppliers or people that have really been bothering you. Be careful how you say things because words cannot be taken back today. Wednesday, February 19th, the moon continues in partnership-oriented Libra as the day begins. Our first aspect of the day, Mercury squares Saturn, 1:11 a.m. This planetary combination has been going on for about 2 days. This aspect allows us to be extra aware of small details and problems that we might have missed. This aspect can also make us feel very judged about any errors we might have found at this time. Remember, with this Mercury retrograde, this is a time that you're supposed to be discovering things that you did miss. Saturn gives us the clarity to see the problem, and Mercury gives us the intellect to solve it. Later in the afternoon, the moon squares Venus at 1:45 a.m. Said that again. Moon squares Venus at 1:45 a.m., not in the afternoon, in the morning. If you're awake, this is a great time for a sad movie and some luscious late-night snacks. The moon trines Mercury at 8:13 a.m. This is a great aspect for the morning. We're feeling positive, upbeat, and getting our life in order this morning. It's a great time for any kind of early business meeting or just spending some wonderful time with your friends. Later in the afternoon, the moon conjuncts Mars at 3:52 p.m. This aspect will give us lots of extra energy to confront any problems we may have or the extra boost we need to get that project completed. Our emotions will be out there for everyone to see. Some people will be feeling very angry, and others will be feeling very defensive. Just avoid the ones with too much drama. The moon is now void, of course, in Libra at 3:52 p.m. until 9:33 p.m. when the moon enters fearless Scorpio. Take a break in the latter part of the afternoon and plan your more important activities in the later evening. Thursday, February the 20th, the moon continues in emotionally deep Scorpio all day. The moon trines the sun at 12:24 a.m. If you're awake, this is a great time to be looking inward and discovering things about yourself you didn't know. If it's warm where you are, it's a great night for a late night swim. The moon trines Neptune at 6:43 a.m. We are drifting about this morning. We're concerned with our own feelings and thoughts. Don't plan any early morning meetings where you have to be very right-brained. If you can, take some time for yourself. Later in the afternoon, the moon trines Jupiter at 5:27 p.m. Our energy is back up, and we're feeling good about ourselves and the people we're interacting with, and essentially just with the day itself. In business, this is a great time to meet with anyone. Both of you are feeling open and are ready to consider the potentials of the future. The moon sextiles Pluto in the evening at 9:22 p.m. If you're in a business mode, this is a great time for real communications, negotiations, and getting down to what really matters. In personal relationships, we're more open and willing to show how we really feel. This is a time when we are more trusting. Friday, February the 21st, the moon continues in persistent Scorpio. The moon squares Mercury at 11:58 a.m. We're in our detective mode this morning, and we're going to be really good at untangling any kind of knots. Otherwise, this is a great time for organizing or just clearing things up in general. The moon sextiles Venus at 12:04 p.m. Now, this is a great time to be entertaining a client at lunch or just spending time with that special someone. We're all more open to what the other person has to say. Later in the afternoon, the moon conjuncts Saturn at 4:10 p.m. This is a time of both personal and emotional assessment. Although this provides us with a strong sense of clarity, it does tend toward the negative. Saturn can often make us feel that no matter what we do, it's not enough. Be gentle in your assessments with yourself and others. The moon is now void, of course, 4:10 p.m. on Friday until Saturday morning at 4:12 a.m. Finish up with the task you have, and the end of the day, Friday, will be just fine. Saturday, February 22nd, the moon enters exuberant Sagittarius at 4:12 a.m. The moon squares the sun at 11:15 a.m. Now, this is a great morning to bring treats into work so that everybody can share in the fun. We're not going to get much work done, but we're sure going to be enjoying ourselves. In the afternoon, the moon squares Neptune at 1:01 p.m. Now, this is a great afternoon really for a late lunch or taking some time to yourself. You'll be feeling extra sensitive, and therefore you will need some space to avoid the drama around you today. And finally, in the late evening, the moon trines Uranus at 10:26 p.m. We're having some nice extra energy in the latter part of the evening. We do need some distractions and some entertainment. This is a great evening for getting out for a late night snack. Well, this wraps up this week's forecast. If you missed my holiday lecture series in December and January, the Dow Jones for 2014, the USA for 2014, Houston for 2014, and Journey Through the Signs for 2014, which is an overview of the 12 signs for 2014. They are all available via email or on CD at $20 each. Or you can get them all four for $60. If you want to contact me, you can find me at LillyRoddyShow@AOL.com or LillyRoddyShow.com. Please take some time to visit our LillyRoddy Show Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest sites. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next week. Until then, remember to keep those stars in your eyes. Bye-bye.